Microsoft has asked the judge to change some of the replies that they had sent to the FTC. Now, this eliminates several of their arguments near the end of their submission. So let's go over what changed and why. Now, this is up on the official FTC website, but Stephen Totilo actually seems to have a comment from Microsoft. So let's read what happened here. Basically, they asked to remove a 5 bullet point salvo claiming that the FTC's structure and in-house administrative court, where the Activision case is being heard, run afoul of the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the due process clause of the Fifth Amendment. You might remember those were some controversial statements that some people brought up as negative, and I guess they wanted to take them out. What they're saying, the FTC has an important mission to protect competition and consumers, and we quickly updated our response to omit language suggesting otherwise based on the Constitution. Microsoft Public Affairs spokesperson David Cuddy tells Axios, we initially put all potential arguments on the table internally and should have dropped these defenses before we filed. We appreciate feedback about these defenses and are engaging directly with those who express concerns to make our opposition clear. Activision is also dropping the same responses they had sort of copy pasted. The same allegations at the bottom of their document. So those are also being replaced on the Activision front. So basically, let's go over what happened here. If we go to the actual order, we'll read it together here. This is the order from the FTC, right? It's an order granting consent motions for leave to amend answers and defenses. It's from Microsoft and Activision. It says, on January 3rd, 2023, respondent Microsoft Corp and respondent Activision Blizzard each filed a consent motion for leave to amend its answers and defenses. Consent motions. Respondents each seek to withdraw defenses 17 through 22 raised in the answers, each filed December 22nd, 2022. A motion for leave to amend may be granted whenever determination of a controversy on the merits will be facilitated thereby. Granting the consent motions will facilitate a determination on the merits in this proceeding by narrowing the issues to be decided. The proposed amendment to each answer will not cause prejudice to any party, and expediting the resolution of this matter is in the public interest. Microsoft and Activision acted promptly in bringing the consent motions, and complaint counsel consents to the proposed amendments. Accordingly, the consent motions are granted. It is ordered that Microsoft and Activision may each file the proposed amended answers and defenses attached as Exhibit B to the respective consent motions as the operative answers and defenses in this manner within 5 business days. So, long story short, basically, there's one statement in this that says, basically, they say something about, what was the word specifically? Whenever determination of a controversy on the merits will be facilitated thereby. A motion for leave to amend may be granted whenever determination of a controversy on the merits will be facilitated thereby. I'm not sure what that means. I think it means that maybe they think it'll be sort of controversial if they leave in certain statements. And basically, yeah, I think they're sort of right. Here is the document. Actually, let me bring them up side by side really quick. I was going to do one and then show you both, but I think it'll be more impactful because currently one is literally nothing. Here is one, basically the commissions, but when you look at them side by side, you can see just how much was omitted, right? So they left in the part where they say the commission's charges under Title V of the Federal Trade Commission Act are unlawful to the extent the commission purports to apply Section 5 beyond the meets and bounds of the Sherman and Clayton Acts. And then they skip right to the end where they want to deny the commission's contemplated relief, discussing the complaint in its entirety with dismissing the complaint in its entirety with prejudice, awarding Microsoft its cost of suit, and awarding such other and further relief as the administrative law judge may deem proper. Now, here's the original. Here's the minute. Here's what they took out. They took out number 18. These proceedings are invalid because the adjudication of the commission's complaint by the ALJ and the commission violates Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution and the separation of powers. The commission's procedures arbitrarily suggest Microsoft to administrative proceedings rather than to proceedings before an Article 3 judge in violation of Microsoft's right to equal protection under the Fifth Amendment. I think this one, they're basically insulting the court where they're likely going to be discussing the case. The commission procedures violate Microsoft's right to procedural due process under the Due Process Clause of the Fifth Amendment. The structure of these administrative proceedings, in which the commission both initiates and finally adjudicates the complaint against Microsoft, violates Microsoft's Fifth Amendment due process right to adjudication before a neutral arbiter. I mean, the argument that they were making was, the FTC is unconstitutional, and then their rights are being violated because they don't feel like the FTC is a neutral party. That was their argument. But now that this is likely going to trial, I guess they're sort of backpedaling on those statements. And then number 22 was, these administrative proceedings violate Microsoft's Fifth Amendment due to process right to adjudication. These are new words for me, everybody. Before a neutral arbiter as applied to Microsoft, because the commission has prejudged the merits of the instant action. The commission's charges under Section 5 of the Federal Trade Commission Act are unlawful to the extent the commission purports to apply Section 5 beyond the metes and bounds of the Sherman-Claman Act. So it looks like for number 17, the point they really wanted to make was part of 23 and part of 17. So they combined those two into one response. Of course, this was granted by the judge because he doesn't want any drama. Now, there's been some other interesting developments over on the FTC side of things. Not necessarily related to Activision Blizzard, but I want to bring it up quick. But before I do, hit that subscribe. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm recording these in the morning when I'm sleepy. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Half of you watching right now are not subscribed. I have this goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers. If all of you subscribed right now, I would hit my goal immediately. So thank you for watching, everybody, this far. Let's talk about this other thing. Basically, the FTC proposes to ban this new FTC proposal aims to ban non-compete clauses for all U.S. workers. This is what I'm like when I don't have my coffee in the morning. I wanted to record this right away because I just needed a break last night. So yeah. And basically they would ban non-compete charges. And, you know, I give the FTC a really hard time, but then they do something like this. Yeah, I think non-compete should be thrown out. They're not good for people. You know, for most people that are just trying to do their thing, non-competes are not great. So kudos to the FTC on that one. We'll see what happens with the Microsoft Activision Blizzard case, but I just wanted to bring that up quite briefly. And then, you know, Routers is reporting on this. Everybody is reporting on this. Basically the same comments over there on Routers. Let's just take a look together really quick. So I'm just sort of looking through. Microsoft has already shown that it can and will withhold content from its gaming rivals. This is the argument that didn't go well. Today, we seek to stop Microsoft from gaining control over a leading independent game studio and using it to harm competition in multiple dynamic and fast-growing markets. Holly Vodova, director of the FTC's Bureau of Competition, has said in a statement. So Microsoft President Brad Smith said they have been committed since day one to addressing competition concerns, including by offering earlier this week proposed concessions to the FTC. And then, you know, nothing ever ended up coming of it. So that's sort of your update. I don't think it's a substantial update, but I do find it interesting that they even submitted the documentation with those rather scathing statements, because they're making big statements about the courts, and they're making big statements about the FTC, and now they've removed them. So they're gone now, and the case will go from here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to thank the members also right now, and I'm going to go drink some coffee. My goodness. Thank you so much to the members. I post all these videos with no ads. If you want to become a member, click that join button right down there. And if you want to watch my recap of the Sony CES thing, you can check that out here. See, I covered a Sony thing and nobody watches it. And then people are like, why didn't you make a video about this random Sony thing? Well, because it's like my lowest performing video. That's why. What are your best performing videos, Destin? Funny you should ask. It's the Activision content, which is why I keep making Activision content. People are like, you're so desperate about this Activision story. No, I get a ton of positive responses about making these videos. I find it to be a very interesting case. Even if it fails, I get to make content about it. Like there's no loss for me covering this. Tons of positivity from you. Thank you to everybody who leaves comments, by the way. I don't usually do this at the end, but you guys have been like so positive. So thank you, everybody. Thank y'all. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much. Bye for now, everybody.